A very good Thursday afternoon to all our viewers. You're watching Lunchtime News coming to you live and direct from our News First studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Mariam Gunamijaya. First up, please a look at your headlines.
Sri Lanka and Pakistan to clash in must-win Asia Cup Super 4 game. First review of the IMF EFF program for Sri Lanka commences. President to address 78th UN General Assembly on 21st in New York. President invites West Bengal Chief Minister to visit Sri Lanka. India names a new High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. Navy takes hold of 3 Indian poaching trawlers and 17 fishermen in sea of Sri Lanka. Heavy showers above 50 millimeters likely at some places.
On to your lead story this afternoon, President Ranil Wickremesinghe will attend the G77 Plus China Leaders Summit in Havana, Cuba. The G77 Plus China Leaders Summit, themed Current Development Challenges, Role of Science, Technology and Innovation, is scheduled for the 15th of September and the 16th in Havana, Cuba. After attending the G77 Plus China Leaders Summit, President Wickremesinghe will fly to New York in the USA to attend the 78th United Nations General Assembly. President Wickremesinghe will address the General Assembly on the 21st of September, while the UNGA sessions will go on from the 21st of September. His speech will revolve around the theme Rebuilding Trust and Reigniting Global Solidarity, Accelerating Action on the 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals towards peace, prosperity, progress and sustainability for all. On to your next story, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, while leaving for Spain, met President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Dubai airport. Here's a look at their brief meeting where the President asked if Banerjee will lead the Indian opposition.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Are you going to lead the opposition alliance?
Oh my God.
You're all wondering, huh?
It depends on people, you know. We believe that.
She has not answered you.
Yes, sir, I answered.
No, is she going to lead the opposition alliance?
Sir, opposition may be position also.
So come to Sri Lanka anyway, madam.
Yes, you please.
Sri Lanka will assume the chairmanship of the Indian Ocean Rim Association for the period 2023 to 2025 at the forthcoming 23rd Council of Ministers meeting. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri elaborated this during a media briefing held in Colombo earlier today.
Sri Lanka is a founding member of IORA. IORA seeks to enhance economic cooperation, trade, investment, maritime security in the region, earmarked to take over from this year. As at yesterday, we had 16 countries have confirmed ministerial level partnerships, the representations for the forthcoming ministerial summit which will be held in Colombo. Sri Lanka's heritage in the past and a continuing legacy is its independence in international affairs. We have never been part of any camp, this side or the other side. We will continue to be wanting to do that. We would like to have multiple choices available to us, multi-aligned to say so, work with all the countries in the region and away, from global south to the north. We would like to engage with them, and that's how Sri Lanka will be, and that's what Sri Lanka is known for. We are also planning a calendar of events in order to improve better connectivity and coordination between our countries.
India has named Sri Santosh Jha, presently the Ambassador of India to Belgium, as the next High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka. Santosh Jha is to take the place of Gopal Bagle in Colombo, who is to be posted in Canberra, Australia. According to the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, he is expected to take up the assignment shortly. Moving on to other local developments, the first review of the International Monetary Fund EFF program for Sri Lanka is currently underway at the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The State Minister of Finance says that representatives of the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Sri Lanka are participating in the discussions. Now, the review is a significant milestone towards securing the second tranche of the IMF assistance, and the talks will continue until the 24th of September.
Chance as well.
And in your cricket news update this afternoon, Pakistan will take on Sri Lanka in the Asia Cup Super 4 match in what would be a virtual semi-final clash between both sides at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo, as the winner will advance to the finals to meet India.
Sri Lanka and Pakistan will square off in a high-pressure knockout match. The contest between Pakistan and Sri Lanka is a must-win, with the winner qualifying for Sunday's final at R. Premadasa Stadium. If the match ends as a washout, Sri Lanka will progress due to their superior net run rate. There is currently no reserve day. Both nations are coming off impressive ODI forms, with Sri Lanka registering 13 consecutive wins before the loss to India. Meanwhile, Pakistan has only lost 2 of their 11 most recent ODIs, including 4 consecutive wins over New Zealand. Cricket fans in Sri Lanka can catch all the action on TV1, the official local broadcast rights holder for the 2023 Asia Cup, and also on www.sirasatv.lk.
In more local news, the Locomotive Operating Engineers Union says that it has suspended its union action since last night following a discussion with the authorities. Even though the train strike ended, trains did not operate as usual, once again inconveniencing the public. Secretary of the Locomotive Operating Engineers Association, SRCM Senanayaka, said that railway operations will return to normalcy by afternoon. The 84 members of the Locomotive Operating Engineers Association launched a strike on the 12th, citing several demands surrounding the recruitment and retirement processes. Passengers were severely inconvenienced by the strike, and a teenager also died after falling off the roof of a train at the Horape railway station while the strike was on. Thereafter, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, via an extraordinary gazette, declared the country's railway service as an essential service. The Cabinet Subcommittee on State Expenditure, led by Prime Minister, convened yesterday evening to discuss the concerns raised by the railway engine drivers. The strike by the railway workers was called off after the General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways informed the trade union members of the decisions that were reached at the meeting. A wild elephant was killed after colliding with the Meenagaya night mail train, which was plying from Batiklo to Colombo. Deputy General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways, N.J. Indipolage, says due to this incident, the train was delayed by about 5 hours. The incident took place between Valikanda and the Punani railway stations in Pulyaradi at about 10 p.m. last night. The Valikanda Wildlife Office said that the 35-year-old elephant collided with the train. The post-mortem examinations are to be carried out today by the officers of the Giritale Wildlife Veterinary Unit. Due to damages caused on the sleepers of the railway track, the night mail from Fort to Batiklo was delayed too. Another wild elephant had collided with a train that was travelling from Colombo to Batiklo in the night around the same area only 3 days ago. The problems arising due to wild elephants in the northwestern province has also been gradually increasing. Herds of elephants who encroached into the Kalegama area in the Kurunagala district under the Hattuava Divisional Secretariat had caused damages to many houses and crops in the area. Area residents said that the reason these elephants encroached into the villages is the inactive state of electrical fences around the villages. The Satyagraha campaign by several civil movements opposite the Health Ministry in Colombo continues to take place. Activists are demanding the Health Minister and other officials to step down immediately.
The Satyagraha campaign was organized by the trade union collectives as well as the citizens' movement against fraud, corruption and waste. They said the campaign will not be abandoned until the health officials take necessary measures to address issues in the country's ailing health sector. Doctors have staged protest recently, citing several concerns in the health sector. Doctors at the Kantale Base Hospital staged a protest yesterday, demanding solutions to the shortage of doctors and medicines in Sri Lanka.
The Kantale Base Hospital requires about 70 doctors. However, only about 46 doctors are currently working at the hospital. That is only 2/3 of its requirement. The hospital requires about 12 specialist doctors, but there are only 6 specialist doctors. The Kantale Base Hospital provides medical services to people from multiple areas, but the hospital lacks anesthesiologists, obstetricians and gynecologists. This has severely inconvenienced the people.
A group of doctors from Polonnaru General Hospital engaged in a silent protest opposite the hospital yesterday. They were demanding for the solutions to the base issues at government hospitals across the country. General Secretary of Janata Vimukti Peramuna Tilvin Silva says that under the government of Jatika Janabalawegaya, there will be no space for fraud or corruption.
Do we want fraud and corruption to stop? Yes. Certain people can be of the stance that we cannot develop a country even if we stop the looting from taking place. But how can we develop the country without putting an end to that? Fraud and corruption must be stopped. The primary task of the government under the Jatika Janabalawegaya is to stop fraud and corruption from taking place. We will take legal action against those who were engaged in such activities and will recover everything the country has lost.
On to your weather update this afternoon. The Met Department predicts that showers above 50 millimeters will occur across several areas, including the western and Sabaragamu provinces. Wind speeds can increase up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour at times. In the sea areas of the coast extending from Chelau to Trincomalee via Mana and Kankasanthore, and in the sea areas extending from Hambantota to Pothuil. Showers were reported across many parts of Sri Lanka. A mound of earth collapsed onto a house in Deyandara, Mathura. A tree had fallen onto the Norton Bridge, Hitigegama main road. News First correspondent reported that power cables and telephone cables in the area were damaged. Area residents and the police officers took steps to remove the tree from the road in order to clear the traffic in the area. News First correspondent also reported that Hambantota is experiencing heavy showers. Low-lying areas in Mahalevaya and Sipikulam in Hambantota were inundated due to the heavy showers. While some areas in Sri Lanka are experiencing heavy showers, several other areas in the country continue to experience arid weather conditions. News First correspondent said that the dry spell had negatively affected the Kaluebe and Kiriyagaswava villages in Kakirava Divisional Secretariat in the Anuradhapura district. Many from these villages are dairy farmers, and the drought had resulted in the loss of food sources for the cattle as well. The dairy farmers in the area said that dairy production had dropped due to the dry spell, and this has affected them negatively. A group of officials, including engineers of the Ceylon Electricity Board, arrived at the Samanala to examine the water leakage points.
General Manager of Samanala Complex of Ceylon Electricity Board, Udaya Bepitia, while examining the underground tunnel of Samanala, said that the rocks utilized in the construction of the dam in 1992 have now decayed. He further noted that there is a risk of landslides on the right bank owing to this situation. The General Manager said that at this time, when the water is at a low level, it is easier to close the tunnel and to stop the leak.
On to another one of your stories that made it to your headlines this afternoon. The Sri Lanka Navy conducted a special operation to chase away Indian poaching trawlers from Sri Lankan waters yesterday. The operation led to the seizure of 3 Indian trawlers with 17 Indian nationals poaching in the island waters of the Kakarativu Island and the Bulletin lighthouse in Jaffna. The Northern Naval Command deployed fast attack craft of the 4th Fast Attack Flotilla to chase away a cluster of Indian poaching trawlers after having spotted they were engaging in illegal fishing in Sri Lankan waters of the Kakarativu Island and Bulletin lighthouse yesterday. In this operation, the Navy held 3 Indian poaching trawlers that continue to remain in island waters with 17 Indian fishers aboard. The 3 poaching trawlers together with 17 Indian fishermen were brought to the port of Kankasanture and they will be handed over to the fisheries inspector of Mailadi for onward legal proceedings. Including the poaching trawlers held in this operation, the Sri Lanka Navy has seized 17 Indian poaching trawlers and apprehended 110 Indian fishermen so far in 2023. Sri Lankan authorities arrested a wanton underworld criminal who returned to Sri Lanka using a forged passport.
The underworld figure who goes by the name Ganimulla Sanjeeva was detained and arrested by officials attached to the Department of Immigration and Immigration. Police spokesperson SSP Nihal Talduwa told News First that the Colombo North Crimes Division will conduct the investigations into the suspect. The suspect had returned to Sri Lanka from Kathmandu, Nepal at around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and the arrest was made public several hours later. Local authorities said that immigration officers had felt suspicious over the behavior of the suspect, and during interrogation he confessed that he was in fact Ganimulla Sanjeeva. He was thereafter handed over to the Sri Lanka police. Investigations have revealed that Ganimulla Sanjeeva left Sri Lanka illegally by boat from Mannar. Sri Lanka police said that while overseas, Ganimulla Sanjeeva had led several crimes with the assistance of underworld gangs in the country.
Into some developing news coming in from overseas, more than 5,300 people are believed to have died after floods in the Libyan city of Derna.
There have been desperate calls for more humanitarian support as victims lie wrapped in body bags and others have been buried in mass graves. The flood swept through Derna on Sunday after a dam burst during Storm Daniel. Rescue teams are digging through the rubble of collapsed buildings in the hope of finding survivors. Officials say at least 10,000 people are missing while 30,000 people are estimated to have been displaced. Rescue teams have also arrived from Egypt, Tunisia, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey and Qatar.
In other international news, during a public hearing in the Mexican Congress, 2 alleged alien corpses were unveiled alongside videos displaying UFOs and anomalous phenomena.
As per the reports by multiple Mexican media, quoted by The Independent, 2 alleged alien corpses were revealed during a public hearing of the Mexico Congress. Soon after, several videos displayed showing UFOs and unidentified anomalous phenomena. The public hearing of the Mexico Congress was live-streamed. Mexican media even reported that journalist and ufologist Rey Maussan testified under oath that the mummified specimens are not part of our terrestrial evolution. He added that the mummified specimens are almost a third of their DNA remaining unknown. Maussan claimed that the specimens had been studied by scientists at the Autonomous National University of Mexico who drew DNA evidence using radiocarbon dating. The specimens, believed to be 1,000 years old and retrieved from Cusco, Peru, underwent DNA analysis, revealing that over 30% of their DNA was unknown. X-rays showed one body containing eggs, and both had implants made of rare metals, including osmium. Despite the hearing in the Mexican Congress, it's important to note that the ufologist Rey Maussan has been linked to previous fake alien claims.
And that's a wrap of this edition of Lunchtime News here on News First. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.